This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. I think we still do the police.
Oh, I see Rob's back there.
Yeah, I think it's good. Evening, everyone. Tonight is Tuesday, April 2nd, our regular Board of Trustees meeting at 5 o'clock. We'll do the roll call. Mr. Simcoe, please. Mr. Crandall?
Here.
Mr. Genowine is not able to join us tonight. Mr. Mahoney?
Here. Simcoe, here. All right. And we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We're going to push on the minutes, the meeting minutes.
Yeah, let's table those.
Table that till next month.
Okay.
I wasn't here.
Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Oliver?
Nothing for administration.
Okay. And then just a couple small things on our sheet here. We had Mercy Health, but they had to cancel for an emergency this evening. And then we have a presentation for Stranahan. If you guys could just hold just 1 second on that, please, because we got a big crowd here of some promotions and some new employees. So if we could start with that, the badge fittings, yeah.
Let's move those up.
Yeah, let's move those up so you guys can go get out to dinner and be on your way this evening.
I
So,
think it's 12.1 and 12.2 move up.
okay, yeah, let's do that. Paulie? Oliver? You got the retired? Sarah, come on up.
Mine says retired.
Well, good afternoon, trustees and fiscal officer Simcoe. It is my pleasure to introduce Police Chief Sarah Toth. In a moment, Chief Toth will be presented with her badge by retired Police Chief Paul Long. It is appropriate for the presentation of the badge to be held in the presence of family, friends, and team members, as well as the public we serve. As you know, Chief Toth has been a devoted law enforcement professional with the Sylvania Township Police Department since 1996. Throughout her tenure, Chief Toth has shown consistent leadership, determination, and a commitment to excellence in service to the public. Her integrity is remarkable and will advance the police department in the years to come. We appreciate her commitment to the public and law enforcement and congratulate her again on her promotion to chief. At this time, I'll turn it over to retired Police Chief Paul Long for the presentation of the badge. Thank you.
Family, it's a big moment. All right, here you go, sir. Congratulations, you earned this. All your hard work, and I appreciate everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
All right, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
Well, don't go too far, Sarah, right? We've got to.
So much for easing in to my first meeting. I would like to take a minute to thank the trustees for selecting me to be chief. I love serving this amazing community, and I consider it a privilege to serve with the exceptional men and women of this police department. I'm truly humbled and honored to be the chief, and I promise that I will always give you my best. I'd also like to thank Chief Long, not only for his service, where did he go? But for being an excellent chief and role model, and also he happens to be, as you know, as our department knows, a wonderful man. I know he's more than earned his retirement, but he's definitely going to be missed. So thank you, Chief Long. Thank you, Lori. And back to our exceptional members. I would have two resolutions that I'd like to put forth for you tonight, asking for your approval to promote 3 of them. I have resolution number 24059, approval to promote Sergeant Lee McKinney to the rank of lieutenant.
Well, that's an easy one. I'll offer resolution 24059 to promote Lee McKinney.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Thank you. And the next resolution is 24060, approval to promote officers Justin Brackett and Curtis Myers to the rank of sergeant.
I'll move approval.
Second?
Mr. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Thank you. Lee, you want to come up? Lee McKinney joined the department in 1996. He was promoted to sergeant in 2008. He has served as a patrol sergeant and detective sergeant and has a wealth of experience and personal qualities that I know will serve him well in his new role. I've worked with Lee for many years and I know he'll do a great job as our new operations lieutenant. His wife Dana will be pinning his badge on. Whoops. It had to go like that. There you go, Lee. Congratulations. All right, next, Justin Brackett. Justin joined the department in 2019. The last couple of years, he's been one of our field training officers, helping to teach and train our new hires. Justin's a great FTO because he's very good at his job, but also because he has a great attitude. He's humble and gracious, and he's pretty funny. See, I unintentionally, I'm that kind of, physical comic where things fall, and Justin's just funny, naturally funny. Those are all qualities that'll make him a good teacher, and I'm sure will help him in his new role as one of our afternoon shift sergeants. Justin's wife, Lainey, will be pinning his badge on him. Congratulations. Come on up, Kurt. Curtis Myers joined the department in 2018. He's also been one of our FTOs, and I was still a midnight shift sergeant when Kurt was assigned to that shift not long after completing his own field training. In that time that I worked with him directly, and in the time since, I've known Kurt to be a hard worker. He's a self-initiator and always interested in learning and growing as an officer. I've seen him stepping into leadership roles, and I look forward to seeing him grow into his new role as one of our midnight shift sergeants. Curtis's wife, Abigail, will be pinning his badge on him.
Pressures.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, this is a good chance for anybody who's here. I see the chief from Sylvania is here, so thanks for coming this evening. So, anyways, you guys get out of here if you want, or you can stay.
Yeah.
But I'd get out of here. Oh, you're good.
Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. Congratulations. I'm at Justin. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Was that your brother? So that's your brother? Oh, I remember you said he was with the township too. Oh, that was an easy one. I'll see you at church on Sunday. Yeah.
It's up to that boy over there.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah, right. All good. Right. I'll see you. Okay, have a great night. Okay. One second here.
No problem.
Thanks. Hello, good evening. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
If you don't, real quick, if you don't mind, we just for the tape, it's not, we're being personal. Name, address, and what we're here for tonight.
Yep. My name is Tara Hay. I am the president of the Stranahan Elementary Parent Teacher Association of Sylvania. My address is 4130 Robin Hood Lane, Sylvania Township, 43623.
Thanks, Tara.
All right. Well, thank you very much for allowing me to present this evening. As I mentioned, I'm here to present on behalf of the Stranahan PTA. We are seeking your endorsement this evening for our Inclusive and Accessible Playground Initiative. Before I get into the details of the project, just wanted to share a little bit about my background. I am a Sylvania Township resident. I'm currently a stay-at-home mom / substitute teacher for Sylvania schools. Previous to that, I was an executive for international grocer Aldi Foods. I worked there for 14 years. I was a group buying director responsible for roughly $3 billion in sales. I advised my team on negotiation strategies, new product launches, supplier partnerships. But I'm also, on the other side, I'm also a proud mother of an 8-year-old. My son does have complex medical needs. So I also have experience in early childhood development, physical, occupational, speech therapies. Together, combined, my experience really makes me a great fit for this particular project. And with that, I'll kind of get into what I'm really here for today. So our mission with this playground is to develop an inclusive and accessible outdoor playground that allows both typically developing children and children with special needs a place to play alongside one another. The playground will address physical accessibility as well as sensory, social, emotional, and cognitive accessibility. Our vision is to incorporate principles of universal design. We'll remove physical barriers and social barriers. We'll utilize poured rubber surfacing for accessibility. We'll have both standard and adaptive equipment and accessible ramping throughout. So what is an inclusive play space? We know that inclusive means including everyone. An inclusive play space includes a variety of play elements of varying degree of challenge. It provides accessibility aspects for users with different needs, including physical, sensory, and cognitive. It allows all users a place to play alongside one another rather than separately. And it's an environment where everyone feels welcomed, valued, and can participate. I think it's best illustrated with these examples here to show some differences of some play spaces we have here in our community. The first example is exclusion. This would be in situations where we have mulch on playgrounds. So mulch is very commonly seen across the community, across the country. It is ADA accessible, it is ADA approved. However, it is very challenging for a user of a mobility aid to navigate their equipment through mulch. We see these across the community in situations where children are left on the sidewalks, unable to interact and play in the equipment with their peers. Another example would be segregation. Here we have situations where we have two playgrounds side by side, or play spaces rather, one that's fenced in and one that's open. The fenced-in area may help with children with elopement concerns. Unfortunately, it segregates them from their other peers. Next, we have integration. In this example, we have made a step forward. We have incorporated things like an adaptive swing into a playground. But unfortunately, oftentimes those swings are surrounded by mulch, making it rather challenging to access for those users as well. The goal of our project is to make everything inclusive, meaning all of the children, regardless of their abilities or mobility aids needed, would be able to play on the same play space together. So why does inclusive play matter? It fosters social, emotional, and physical development. It inspires friendships, promotes kindness and diversity, and creates awareness, provides an atmosphere of respect, acceptance, and independence, all things that are very important for our community. The Sylvania School's mission statement focuses on core beliefs in the whole child, inclusivity, collaboration, community, and continuous improvement. We feel our project very much aligns with those core beliefs. We know that in fall 2023, Sylvania student enrollment was roughly 8,000 students. 13.1% of those students were classified with special needs, many of which were not necessarily visible. Yet we don't have play spaces that meet the needs of these users. Additionally, the U.S. Department of Education cites that within 1,000 children between the ages of 3 and 21, approximately 85 will have these disabilities, ranging from physical to sensory, chronic health conditions, communication, or cognitive. Inclusive play removes physical and social barriers so that these children, regardless of their disability, would be able to participate and play together. The location of our site will be at Stranahan Elementary. We feel that this is an ideal location for a playground of this nature. While we'd love to see them across the entire community, the first step is definitely necessary. This location is ideal as it has direct access to Wildwood Metro Park in the back, and it is also adjacent to the Sylvania Rec baseball fields. It's currently used by many families throughout the year, and we're just wanting to make that playground more accessible. So we are targeting the entire community with this initiative. While it would not be accessible during school hours, the bulk time where we see children at playgrounds, evenings, weekends, summers, holidays, it would be open to the entire community to enjoy. When we kicked off this project, we had very grandiose visions of what we wanted our playground to be like. We were very much inspired by what we've seen in Wood County, particularly what Wood County Plays and that their organization has done with building inclusive playgrounds in that area. Our original budget was around $800,000. We've since then scaled things back, and we're now targeting a budget of $550,000. This is done through various renderings and quotes from various providers. We've also focused in on a community build aspect with some of the equipment in some of the areas, bringing again that community component, but also reducing the labor expense. We're also excited to announce that so far we've raised nearly $155,000 towards this budget. We do expect the construction and to start 2025 with completion within that 3-month window. Granted, assuming all funds are raised in that timeline. Community partners for us include a variety of individuals. Females in Action, Toledo, Metro Parks, Stability Center, Sylvania Firefighters Local 2243, businesses such as Inside the Five, Happy by Us, Wood County Plays, Sylvania Schools. These are all organizations that have endorsed our project so far and are among those. You'll see many of the photos used in this were actually, the time was donated by a local photographer, Gem Photography. Those are actually real students from Stranahan Elementary. We actually visited an inclusive playground in Wood County and took those pictures just to show what things could be like in our community. Going back to why I'm here today and how you as trustees can make a difference, we would be grateful if you could extend support via community connections and collaborations with organizations such as Sage Art and Sylvania Chamber of Commerce. Publicly endorse our project and become an inclusivity advocate sponsor. Sponsorship of $25,000 would establish Sylvania Township with recognition permanently affixed to the play structure and donor signage. To share with you how we've engaged our community in recent promotions, we partnered with Jute Mode on their Here for Good campaign. What makes this a unique t-shirt for us is that we wanted to engage the children of our community. So we challenged them to design our shirt for us. We tasked them with showing us what inclusive play means to us. And we're proud to highlight Maya Butler's design. She's a third grader who designed this shirt. The sale just concluded, and we're excited to get those shirts out in circulation. And last but not least, we're very excited about an upcoming community event. So we'll have, thanks to our partnership with the Metro Parks, we'll be having our first annual Inclusive Playground Benefit Dinner on June 28th at Ward Pavilion. Tickets are on sale now for that event. We're hoping to have a lot of participation across the community to make that a great success for us. Here's different ways to contact us via social and our website. As a reminder, our organization is a 501c3 public nonprofit, so donations are tax deductible for anyone donating. Thank you for your time today. I would appreciate your support in making Sylvania a more inclusive place for all.
Great, Tara, thanks.
I have a question. Is the rec districts involved? Are they contributing?
We actually have a presentation with them later this month.
I haven't heard.
We've applied for different grants through the Improvement Organization, and we have met with Chamber of Commerce multiple times as well. So it's just a matter of having presentations with their board as
You
well.
haven't heard back from,
Not yet, no.
those agencies aren't in the 150,000 yet, or, right?
What's that?
They're not in the 100.
No, they're not in the
Is
150,000.
Metro Parks putting actual money in?
Not yet. They donated the venue so far, and they'll be donating things for donations. They have not committed to a monetary amount at this point.
I mean, to the direct funds to the playground. It sounds like they're supporting you.
They're supporting us through other ways at this point. So far right now, it's through,
That's okay.
yeah,
Just want to be sure.
not monetary. That 150,000 is a combination of various donors across the community, different fundraising initiatives that we've done so far. And we a large portion of that was actually, we had $100,000 that was anonymously donated. So that was a huge donation for us that we received in November.
Tara, is that, are you working with, who's the announcer? Is it Channel 11? Is it Sam Whitman or?
So Ryan Winkman,
Ryan
yeah,
Winkman, yeah.
So he's the president of Wood County Plays. So
Yes.
we've actually had several meetings with Ryan.
Yeah.
He and his team have done a fantastic job in their programs out there. He and his wife, they're kind of co-founders of the organization.
Yeah.
Have been very resourceful in giving us tips and ideas.
That's great.
We're actually the contractor that they've worked with on now soon to be their third playground that they'll be building. We're actually, that's our final, we're working with them as
Nice.
well
Okay,
after
good,
we put
good.
out.
That's
So,
good to hear.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's been very helpful in having them as an alliance there.
Go ahead.
No, this is totally off the subject. Did you remember a guy named Dan Gavin at all, Aldi?
I do remember a guy named Dan
Maybe
Gavin.
Dan could get you a check from Aldi.
I actually applied for a grant from Aldi.
Yeah.
Of course, every company has their pillars.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes, unfortunately, it wasn't quite, yes.
Go ahead, John, sorry.
I was wondering, what's your largest cash? No, not.
Donation.
Yeah.
Largest cash donation so far?
Yeah, largest one.
The largest one we've received is 100,000 so far.
From,
It was an anonymous donor.
oh, okay. Well, that's a pretty good start.
It was a very good one, yes. That one really, and that's what's important is, I think people, when we receive that one, people realized, oh, this is really going to happen. They're really going to do this. Not that anyone doubted us, but certainly that really.
Well, it's a good project.
Absolutely.
It is. And you know what, yeah.
Uses that land.
Long overdue too. So here's, Tara, we're missing one trustee, so we'll probably circle back with you on what
Perfect.
the thoughts are from the township,
Perfect.
if that's okay with you,
Yep,
but we'll be
absolutely.
back in touch. So
All right. Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
coming tonight too.
Thank you.
And here's your chance to get out too, if you want to get out.
All right. Well,
Or you can stick
I
around.
might stick around for a little while.
Okay, there you go. All right. Thanks again for coming, Tara.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get into the road. Rob, we've got a brief presentation this evening.
Good evening. No presentation, just a couple resolutions.
There you go.
So, first one is Resolution 24054. This is to approve the plan and advertise for bid for the 2024 Sylvania Township Road Improvement Project. The plans and the cost estimates were.
I'll make a motion 24054 to approve the plan and to advertise.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Next resolution is 24-064. This is authorization to purchase a Diamond C trailer. Our current equipment trailer is 23 years old and past its operational life, and we're requesting to replace it.
I'll author resolution 24064, a diamond trailer.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Thank you for that. So I can make this one good. 24-071, authorization to sell a 2001 Interstate trailer on Gov Deals.
I'll make that motion 24071 to sell a trailer.
Second?
Mr.
Thank you.
Crandall?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Chris, come on down.
Evening. I won't say good because it's not. I've just got three resolutions and a real quick tidbit of good news at the end. So got resolution 24063. That's authorization to sell two mobile radios to the countywide communication system.
24063 to sell, I'm sorry.
That's my fault. Thank you. Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
And I've got resolution 24-061, authorization to hire 3 full-time firefighter paramedics.
I'll make that motion 24061.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And then resolution 24062 is an authorization to waive the fire department hiring policy requirement for one of those candidates from the previous resolution.
I have a question on that. Is this, I understand, it seems like the guy's got a pretty good background, but we're not setting up something that for the future, are we, that we would?
No, it'll be, our intent is to do that on a one-off. He has 20-some years in the fire service. He's got, quite frankly, a lot more education than some of our own people. He separated.
I read it. I think this sounds like a good candidate.
Yeah.
I want to be sure that the union doesn't say.
He is a small
"Oh,
business owner,
yes."
and was going to expand and decided that he wanted to get back into the fire service on a full-time basis.
Thank you.
I think we have a motion. No.
Yeah, we do have a motion on I'll make it again. 24062, authorization to waive a fire department hiring policy.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And the last real quick tidbit, I've got 3 minutes to stretch it out, don't I? We got notification this afternoon that our ambulance that we ordered in February of 2022, the chassis has arrived. Now, when we get the vehicle done, we're going to meet next month with them on a final spec, and then we'll see. It'll probably be another 8 months before we actually get our hands on it. So,
Well, thanks for that update. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you, Chief.
You got a few minutes yet, Oliver? You want to come up with your, you've got a few things to talk about here? Sure. Before the 5:30? We'll get you guys at 5:30, okay?
Happy to. Thank you again. The first item under the administrative category is the public hearing regarding the amendment of the Sylvania Township, City of Sylvania Joint Economic Development District.
I'll open a public hearing at 5:28 to discuss the amending of the Sylvania Township, City of Sylvania JED. Anybody that'd like to?
Second.
I don't think, we're just opening it, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, oh, that's okay. Anybody that'd like to discuss this, for or against? I'll close the, if not anybody up, I'll close at 5:28, the public hearing. We're not going to be voting on this until we have a full board, so that'll be next. That'll be
April 16th.
Next meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, and then you've got a couple of resolutions here, Oliver?
I do. Thank you.
Okay.
The next resolution is 24055 to secure an unsafe and insecure secure building at 7856 Bancroft Street. I would be glad to answer any questions the board may have on this.
Any questions, John?
No.
I'll offer resolution 24055 for the 7856 Bancroft to secure the building. Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney? Yes.
Right, next and final resolution is 24058 to prohibit adult use cannabis operators and medical marijuana cultivators, processors, and retail dispensaries within the unincorporated area. At this point, the state of Ohio is currently going through its rulemaking process. We anticipate that process will be completed in the coming months, potentially sooner. And when that does happen, we will have the opportunity to assess those rules that will be established for the issuance of any licenses for a retail dispensary and other type of facilities. This resolution is essentially intended to be in place to provide the administration and township time to assess those rules and to also provide additional space while the township considers the longer term implications of these types of facilities. I'm glad to answer any questions the trustees may have.
Any questions? I'll offer resolution 24058 to prohibit adult use cannabis operators and medical marijuana cultivators.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney? Yes. Perfect timing. Thanks, Oliver. All right, it's 5:30. We're going to go into the zoning department. Daryl, you want to come on down or up or whatever?
Let's open the hearing.
We will here.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. I thought we did the hearing first. That's okay.
Good evening.
Evening, Daryl.
We have a requested zone change for the property at 8827 West Central Avenue. It's a nearly 7.3 acre elongated parcel on the south side of Central Avenue. The first 400 feet from centerline is Central Zone C2 General Commercial, and the remainder and the majority of the parcel is zoned A3 Agriculture. The entire parcel is within the Central Avenue overlay. The abutting parcels to the north of the subject property are vacant commercial lots, zone C2, and the parcels on either side of the subject property are occupied by single-family dwellings, but are zone C2 for the first 400 feet from center line, and A3 on the remainder. To the south are single-family dwellings in the Stony Brook Village at Forest Lake subdivision. In 2022, a major update to the zoning resolution was approved by the township trustees. Among the updates was the adoption of a new zoning classification, MU, mixed use. The zoning resolution states that the purpose of the mixed use district is to encourage a mix of medium to high density residential and compatible commercial and office uses. The zoning resolution goes on to define a mixed-use development as a tract of land or buildings or structures developed for two or more different uses, such as, but not limited to, residential, office, manufacturing, retail, public, or entertainment, where both uses are primary. The applicant states in their application that they are requesting a zone change to MU to accommodate the operation and expansion of their existing commercial business and to develop additional commercial rental space. Additionally, they have verbally indicated to the zoning department that the long-range plan is to develop the rear of the subject parcel as multifamily residential. If approved, this will be the first mixed-use zone property in the township. The land use plan recommends transitional uses for the area south of Central and west of Centennial Road. The corresponding zone designations for this recommended use are C1 neighborhood commercial, C4 professional office, and R4 high density residential. At the time of the adoption of the current land use plan, the mixed use zone designation did not exist. However, the recommendation for the creation of a mixed use classification was made in the land use plan with the intent to promote higher density residential and commercial uses. The Lucas County Plan Commission and the Sylvania Township Zoning Commission each voted to recommend approval of the requested zone change. And zoning staff recommends approval of the zone change request from C2 and A3 to MU for the following three reasons. One, the proposed zone change is compatible with the Township's land use plan recommendation of commercial and high-density residential uses. Two, the proposed zone change should not create an unreasonable adverse impact upon existing nearby properties. And three, the proposed zone change is compatible with the neighboring uses. And the applicant is here this evening as well.
I have one question. On the R4, refresh my memory on the rear setback on R4.
Well, this is in the Central Avenue overlay, so for the.
Well, I don't know if it is it? Does the Central Avenue overlay run that deep?
Yeah, it's
Deep parcel.
depth of parcel.
So that'll control rather than the rear yard setback, correct?
So it'll be a required 100-yard or 100-foot setback if it's about single family.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure of that.
Yeah,
I
so
thought
the rear
I thought
part
the
would have
zoning would
100.
control. All right, thank you.
One comment myself. Which one's Mr. Eastman? Hi, Neil. Question for you. I know from Redwood, great project, by the way, but I know from Redwoods, okay, the neighborhood is a great neighborhood behind you there. They're an active association, and they're the type, in a good way, they're the ones, they're going to call you out if things are looking the way, they were back and forth with Redwood. Redwood's worked really well with them. It's turned out really nice. I would hope that you guys would have kind of the same respect that for those neighbors. I mean, I wouldn't want you make that a dumping ground back there where those poor, have to look at it. Just, fence it right, bush it right, whatever you guys got to do. But, and I guess the second thing is we don't have John Genuine here. So I'm not saying there's a chance, there could be a chance if it wouldn't pass. Then I maybe should have, I apologize that I didn't mention that early in advance, but typically we have three. Tonight there would be two of us voting. So if it was a 1-1 split, then that could push this back a significant amount of time. But I can tell you selfishly, I don't really have an issue with this project, but we do have to vote and I have to put out for the public on that. So if you're good with that, we can vote on it and go from there, but just wanted to be full disclosure with you on that.
Absolutely, and we don't plan on changing that setback on the rear. And those woods have kind of been part of the neighbors there.
Sure.
And, ultimately, it'd be awesome to have some sort of link between the two communities that we plan on building one day, but at this point, we don't plan on starting that far into the property. And I have heard that there's been issues with Redwood's Pond and not keeping it as nice as they promised.
Right.
At this point, we don't even plan on making it visible from the back property to us.
Okay, that's great. Is there anybody else that'd like to speak on behalf? Thank you, by the way.
I was just thinking, so on your site plan, this is could we show the 100-foot setback?
I think it's on there, right, Daryl?
I didn't see it, no.
But that's the zone, right? It's 100 feet.
Well, I'm worried about somebody else in the future says, no, it's R4, we should use that setback rather than this. I think it'd be easy to add to the plan.
Whatever you think.
If you're willing to do it. What do you think, Daryl?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Could we show the 100-foot setback on the plan? If it's on there, I missed it. I'm worried in the future somebody's going to argue, hey, it's A4, that setback applies rather than the Central Avenue.
Well, if the zone
Plus
change,
it's so deep.
if the zone change is approved, it would be MU. But the 100-foot setback applies for any non-single family dwelling use in the Central Avenue overlay that abuts
But
single family.
sometimes people come in and want a zoning board of appeals, which we don't represent. I assume if they wanted to go to the R4 setback. I think there's an argument there in the future. I'm just trying to get it shown on the plan that we're using the Central Avenue overlay, so there's no question.
Right, the Central Avenue overlay extends the depth of the parcel, so the entire parcel falls in to that, which requires the 100-foot from single
Phrase
family.
it a different way. Could you go to the zoning board of appeals?
Yeah, they've got variances for the side setbacks.
So what he's saying is, 10 years from now, Eastman said, we don't want this property.
Right.
Could somebody come in through the Board of Zoning Appeals and redirect the zone change to allow for something else that would be within the 100
Let's
feet?
say they spun this
So
off.
John's hung, and I don't blame him. He wants something to show that the 100 feet's 100 feet. If you guys are okay with that, we're going to put, the 100 feet's off is what the 100 feet is.
Yeah, let's say another person came in to do, maybe you're going to do the R4, I don't know, but this is in the future. So somebody else comes in and says, well, I'm not fronting on Central. I'll use the rear yard setback for R4. I'm interested in protecting the houses.
Right, regardless of what it's zoned, it's still within the Central Avenue overlay.
Well,
And the 100-foot
if the
setback.
R4 was a different owner, how do you, they're not on Central Avenue. They might have an access road or.
So you're saying if there's an ingress and egress on another piece of property that's
sure.
not
They could
accessing through Central
They could
Avenue?
have a common access agreement, and
Sure.
then not on Central. So I think they could argue, and I think they could probably go, if you tried to enforce it, they could go.
Are you guys following what we're talking about?
They could go.
Are you guys okay if we just put on the plan
Yeah, I
100
just like to
feet?
show it on the plan.
And it is what it is. I mean, you guys okay with that? All right, they're okay with it. Let's do that then. It's a good idea.
Well, that's,
I mean, the only way that would happen would be with a lot split, and the plan commission would not approve a lot that would be landlocked.
Well, they'll run an easement through that.
yeah, sure.
I'll do a 100-year easement. I can go
At 60 feet, they'll approve it, even though they don't build 60 feet. I'm just looking to the future. So many times, somebody comes here that's 10 years later, and we thought it was one thing, and now it's something different. And I think, I'm just trying to protect those homes, Daryl. I'd be comfortable if they just show a 100-foot setback. That's pretty clear what it was at this meeting.
That's not a PUD, so.
I think you guys are okay with it, but I'm having trouble with the zoning. But whatever.
Just put it on the record right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that, we have no plan to
No, I get it.
touch that, and we can
I'm okay with
certainly.
your presentation.
Yes, sir.
Very often though, I probably won't even be here, maybe not here. And somebody comes in and says, well, now, wait a minute, it's a different thing. We're not fronting it, so.
Say that last part again.
It could work out that the rear property is a different owner with access to Central, but they could argue that it isn't, it's really tucked in the back. I'm satisfied if you just show 100 feet, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, on the drawing, you can tell that the side yard setbacks in the drawing, I believe are 30 foot in that drawing, which is about 3.5 times on the back. There is a significantly larger setback on the rear of the property.
Am I missing something? I didn't see the 100 feet.
It may not be called out exactly.
It sounds like you're willing to do it, so
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan and resolution 2457.
Excuse me, I think there might be some other people that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sorry, no.
Okay.
Is there anybody,
I didn't-
yes, that's what I was about to say. Is there anybody that'd like to speak on behalf for or against the project? Okay. Go ahead with the
I
resolution.
guess we got to close the hearing.
Well, there isn't a public hearing on this.
Huh?
There wasn't a public hearing. The public hearing was for, I beg your pardon, I stand corrected, you're right.
I think we got to
We're going
close
to
it.
close the public hearing at 5:43.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
And then I'll make resolution 24057 to approve the zone change request from C2 to A3, or C2 and A3 to M mixed use for the property located at 8827 West Central Avenue, with the condition of the 100-foot setback be shown on the rear of the property.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Congratulations, guys. Yeah, good luck.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
that's all I
investing in the
have.
township. Okay, here's your chance to get out of here, you guys. All right, fiscal officer, Dave, what do we got here this evening?
Well, you had a chance to look at our, the February 2024 analysis, and you can see our revenue was bumped up substantially higher than it was in previous years, but that's because we really did get the first half settlement much sooner than what we normally would, and we've had good revenue collection.
Somehow it's not getting reflected there, but what you said is correct.
Okay, no problem. I didn't know if you were just, yeah, all good. Okay, thanks.
And then the other thing that we have is our expenses in 2024 so far are looking very good too. And so all in all, it's a good financial picture here. And I do have, if you don't have any questions, I do have some resolutions for the board.
Okay.
Okay, first is resolution 24-067 to establish new expense account and appropriate funds.
I'll offer resolution 24067 to establish new expense accounts.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And secondly, I have resolution 24-068, and that's appropriation from unencumbered balance for road and capital fund project from the amount of $17,000 for equipment.
I'll offer resolution 24068, excuse me, transfer of appropriations, sorry.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And then I have resolution 24-069. And again, it's a transfer of appropriations. And we basically, a lot of times do this where there is money in like the police fund, and we just move it around because it's available. So so that's what we really do. And this is authorizing that.
I'll offer 24069, transfer appropriations.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And lastly, resolution 24-070. And you note there that there's a lengthy list of transfer of funds between various funds. Again, they're listed as inter-fund transfers. And I recommend that we approve this resolution.
I'll offer resolution 24070, transfer of funds.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Okay. We're going to go into the hearing of the public for non-agenda items. And is it Bob LaBelle? Hi, how are you? Come on up. If you could, for the record, just the tape, your name and address, please.
Robert LaBelle, 5101 Haroon Road, Sylvania, Ohio.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm not sure if we're able to get
Yes, Mr. LaBelle provided us with some pictures.
Okay.
We'd like to-
So I spoke here several months ago when the property on West Sylvania Avenue, McCord Road, was under consideration for storage facility. And I spoke basically the fact that the 3-story obelisk didn't really fit the look of the neighborhood. And if it had been a gabled building, it fit the bank better, but it was just a huge block. And I'm glad that this panel decided that it was not the right decision. I was somewhat surprised to read, and I believe approved, that Chiefs is in fact being permitted to complete a service station in that location. I would have liked to see something more in the area of retail as opposed to another gas station. But if they feel that they've got enough of a chance to make a business, they go there, and unless you're traveled road or by a highway, so be it. It was their decision. but having, are the pictures ready to go?
They're in the process.
Okay, so we're gonna look at some photographs. So this is one of Sheet's architectural designs. It has the painted canopy with adequate underlighting to serve for safety, simplistic signs, and a reduced height signage. This is more or less what I'd like to see in the building using the typical Sylvania area brick. I don't know the color of that brick that seems to be on our buildings in this community. Near the highway, let's scroll along, she tends to use a bit more illuminated plan. It works great. You see, if you see the top of this picture, there's an elevated highway sign, which is a little off the screen right now. I think it's close to the top. Yeah, it has the elevated highway sign, which I'm sure we would not approve in Sylvania Township. But that large illuminated border on the canopy, I think, is a bit much for a 24-hour business in our neighborhood, considering light pollution and the fact that it's just going to hit you square in the face if you're coming south from McCord Road, coming out of a residential area that doesn't have the feel for the rest of Sylvania Township in that neighborhood. Let's continue, please. Now, once again, this is their reduced illumination plan, where I think they have enough sign presence, but not necessarily so much light pollution or such a hard hit for their customers. We'll continue, please. Again, that's their illuminated plan. Great in a truck stop, perfect on the highway. I don't feel it here in Sylvania Township is where we're going in our vision for the future. Again, the lesser, keep going. And I like the brickwork, I think it's great. The heavy illuminated. This is their taller sign, but I would rather see on the bottom, the very bottom, and I don't know where the township sits in this, I'd rather see the tombstone signage become a standard in Sylvania Township as we move forward to try to keep the larger elevated signs out of our skies. I know the city of Sylvania has made this move, and I see that Bell Tire is, without pressure, reducing the height of their signs. So as we move forward, I'd like to see our signage get to a reasonable height and less flowing signs. And
Do you think there's a chance that we'll see $1.77 gallon gas?
I think that was a moment in time.
Where's the location of the pictures you showed?
The internet, but I've been.
Do you know what town those were in? Or?
I was in Cleveland recently because my wife's a Cleveland Clinic patient, and I was in Strongsville, and I got in the highway on 70, where Strongsville is just below the turnpike, and that sheet is that illuminated methodology. But in that same section, there's a Costco, there's a large shopping center, a huge presence from the Cleveland Clinic. It's
that's
busy.
not quite the same as this.
Yeah, and it is a state highway. There's a lot going on there. And when you have so much happening, so much retail, so many restaurants, so much illumination, it just melts a big pool. I've only seen sheet stations while traveling the interstates. I've never seen one in the city. And I'm somewhat surprised they chose to build inside as opposed to, let's say, in Central Avenue where Rallies is going out would probably have been a better choice for them because they had a lot more presence there a mile away. I don't know what their strategy is, but I also know that they're trying to be in the restaurant business. And that's a big push of where they want to be. So the food court should be a good asset in the neighborhood. There's a lot of kids, there's Southview, there's reasoning, and if that's their focus, the focus is food. Why not?
How do you know this?
I think they do that's their plan. They're restaurant tours.
More than gas?
Yeah. Hey, Bob, let's go back a few let's go back a few. So here's the good thing about you living in the city of Sylvania, okay? Is that there's architectural controls, all
I
right?
understand. And I went to Miami of Ohio in architecture.
Oh, so you get it, okay.
I didn't pass and graduate, but I went.
The problem with townships, and it's been a big bugaboo for me for years, and it's been entrained in the state of Ohio for how many years, that townships are somewhat of an archaic form of government. It's the truth. And the problem is, I personally would like to see something other than goes there. But when a property's rezoned, we as a board, well, we had control of the storage unit because they were changing the zoning. This has already been rezoned, and unfortunately.
Is this C1?
Daryl, what is that, C1? Yeah. So I can't sit here and be like, I mean, for example, do I think the dollar store was a great project on the King in Sylvania? No.
Sick about the trees.
But what am I going to do? Yeah. I mean, there's nothing we can do because it's
It was
zoning.
C1.
Whatever the zoning was for it, Daryl, what was the zoning on Dollar Tree?
That's also
C1, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I can't, I'm not like, that's the good thing about city government, city living. You can control signage, you control, now the lighting stuff, we'll be on that. If that's an issue or the neighbors are upset about it, we're going to be all over it. And, but
Can you
anyways,
suggest early the fact that we are
will that go
concerned
through
about?
project plan review, Daryl? Are you going to be looking at that?
Actually, it'll be going through project plan review this month.
Okay, that's, yeah, so could you mark that as something to discuss as on behalf of Bob and myself?
Well, as far as the signage, they're proposing monument signs.
I'm talking about the lighting around the building.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really anything we can regulate, but I could.
Well, I'm not saying we can, but what we can do is if we got some complaints about lighting like we've had in the past, then we're gonna, we're gonna have to go out and babysit this to, out of respect for Bob, what he's asking, I don't think that's a big ask. I'm saying, let's just make sure, if we got a lighting problem, we're gonna address it.
Yeah.
That's all there is, right?
Right. So my question would be to the builders is match the lighting plan that Speedway is using across the street and don't try to exceed the lumens that they're throwing.
I can throw it out, I don't.
Because no one's complaining about Speedway, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should tell them that that's what we want.
And
And
then remember
that lighting is outrageous.
remember, there's 4 corners there. 2 are in the city. One's a gas station, one's a Rite Aid.
Good point.
And then in the township, we have one bank on the
Okay,
corner.
so you,
And
the
this
north
one-
side is the city.
Correct.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
the city, called me, I think her name was Fisher, I don't know if she's here. I asked her to call me back because it sounded like she didn't understand the difference on these corners and the difference in township versus city for controls. But I think we could certainly ask them, don't you, Neil?
Absolutely.
I mean, we could certainly.
And since they have 2 established plans,
Right.
it shouldn't be difficult for us to say, could you lean toward your more residential plan because you've chosen a residential neighborhood and leave your highway plan closer to highways?
So it's a fair question, Bob. Well, they're meeting this week and, Daryl.
Okay. And I'm thankful for city government. Interesting enough, I've been attending Maumee City Council meetings.
Very nice.
And let me tell you why. Lots happening there.
Sure.
And
Thanks,
I
Daryl.
want to know what Maumee's up to because they're moving a little faster than we are in a lot of subjects. So as we understand what they're doing,
Sure.
we've got good intelligence.
Well, most importantly, good luck with your wife over in Cleveland too, so.
She's having eye surgery in both eyes tomorrow, so please pray for her.
Safe travels.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, yeah.
Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thanks for being here. Thank you very much.
Community. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, just a couple things left, Oliver. We got some we got some liquor permits to discuss and
Well, we didn't take action, did we?
we don't need to.
I must have missed.
On the liquor permits, we don't need
No, I'm asking, we didn't close the public hearing.
We're not voting on, well, I don't think we're voting on sheets. He was just, it was a non-agenda item, I'm sorry. He just came in to talk about sheets.
Don't I see resolution 24057 to change?
That was the, what we just
Oh,
did
no, that was
first. Yeah.
something different. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're way good.
Yeah, we're
We got a
going
big
to-
agenda here. It's all good.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
So, all right, Oliver. Fire
Yes,
away.
with both of the notifications regarding the liquor permits, there is no action that's required. This is the standard notification. Both the police and fire departments have no objections.
Okay. Where is 8250? There, Daryl.
That is the southeast corner of Central and Centennial,
Okay,
next to Kripke.
got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Oliver. With that being said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn at 5:59.
Could I have one comment under this heading? I'm going to be resigning. I won't finish my first 10-year term. I mean, I'm in 10 years in 11. And 12 years would be the end of mine, but I'd like to get somebody in that could be chosen by the board and then agreed to run again. I think that's what you did, and I think that's a good way to do it. I'm not sure how it was your procedure. I'd like to see applications, an announcement
Yeah.
applications.
Mhm.
The board look at the applications. Did they do a interview with you or anything?
No, that's a great question. I think there were 40 applicants and then they wired, they moved it down to the
I
5.
suspect we'll have a lot.
And then we had private, Dave, you were there, then we had 5 interviews, and then I was lucky.
That's what I recall. That's what I recall.
I don't know if I want to see I was lucky, but
Yeah.
I got chosen.
I think we could avoid the interviews right now, but I think we ought to get the process started. And I can meet, I think we announced this, but Oliver said he didn't hear back from anybody, but I think we got to get this moving.
I think Oliver looked at the county on that, what the proper
Yeah, he's
protocol is going to
talking.
be on that, so, okay. Well,
I think we should come back with a plan. We'll mail it out to you.
okay,
If you have comments, contact Oliver, don't
Okay.
contact me. And
yeah,
I don't think I can officially resign until we get closer to the date.
okay.
Is that understanding all right?
Well, I'm sad about this, but I get it, so,
No. Okay.
all right.
Thank you very much.
Make a motion at 6:01 to adjourn, please.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Yes.
We can adjourn.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Carol, thank you.